Okay. Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see and partake of the fragrance of the world of tranquil extinction. Go, Jogi. Ishin. Oh, good morning, everybody. So, as usual, before we start services, I like to have a sort of teaching of the day, sermon, so to speak. Get me on schwitzing today. So today we're going to do Shoeizan, and next week we'll have our Hoban celebration, which will be a high service. Full gamut of our practice. But today we really want to focus again on our basic practice of Shoeizan meditation, seated meditation, and mantra chanting. But I want to talk about Harakiri, sword of Fudo Mule. So in Buddhism, there are a lot of different entities and spirits and things like that that are associated. And on our mandala, you can see the kind of squiggly marks on either side. Now, these are actually Sanskrit, even though the majority of the mandala is in Chinese or in kanji. The symbols on either side in the central portion are Sanskrit. They are the Sanskrit intonations of va and boom, yin and yang, up and down, black and white, the dichotomies, the two splits. Now, they are also symbolic on the mandala of Aizen-myo and Fudo-myo. So you've seen them all over the place, and you don't realize it. If you see the little foo dogs up there, one has the mouth closed, one has the mouth open, one has a closed stance, one has an open stance. That's the closed is Aizen-myo, open is Fudo-myo. And we've seen Fudo-myo, if you've ever done martial arts, he's the one that's going, and he's got his mouth open, he's got his hands up in flames and things like that. That's Fudo-myo. Within our practice, symbolically, Fudo-myo carries a sword called Harakiri, which is a dragon that's wrapped around it or embedded into it. And that sword symbolically is there to cut through illusion. And so he has a rope that he binds false views with, and then he cuts through illusion with the sword. So this cutting through of illusion with the sword is also known as the lion's roar in Buddhism, in that we fearlessly face our own lesser nature, so to speak. A lot of what we do in the practice of Buddhism is ruthlessly examining our own behavior and being accountable for it with all other human beings. One of the early lessons that my teacher gave me was that everything is my fault. Sounds pretty bad, right? Like everything's your fault. But the interesting thing is that if you go into into it with the idea that you're no different than anyone else, and that sometimes blame and fault create space for people. My favorite one is that, let's say you're in a situation where you're a team, right? And Sally really dropped the ball for the team, and everybody on the team knows that Sally dropped the ball. But as a leader, you should know that if you go, it's not me. Sally dropped the ball, guys. Sally's going to be like, oh, not me. I didn't drop the ball. It was Michael. Michael dropped the ball. I didn't drop the ball. So it's going to cause a whole series of negative interactions of everyone kind of shifting blame, trying to defend themselves, their ego. But as a practitioner of Buddhism, I realize there's nothing to defend anyways. And sometimes taking the blame allows people to have space to be able to communicate and to recognize their own eccentricity. So instead, as the leader, I say, you know what, team, I'm going to take the blame. I dropped the ball. I could have done better, and I'm gonna work on it. Now, ironically, this allows Sally the space to say, no, Kanyu, it wasn't you, it was me. I actually did. And then we're able to kind of have a communication about this and to discuss it, to talk about it. And it's because I wasn't trying to defend myself. This comes from constant practice, though. Often we don't develop a relationship with ourselves or our emotions. We tend to obfuscate and push away the things that we don't like about our personalities. We don't really want to think of them. Sometimes we even push other human beings away that force us to think about things about our personalities. I myself have been in situations when I was younger, when I would be in a relationship with someone and I would say, you bring this out in me, I'm not like this when I'm not around you, therefore it's your fault. But the truth was that that was just a mirror for me to see me, and I didn't like me, so I blamed it on them. We don't develop a relationship with our emotions because we think that emotions are bad, or we think that emotions are something that we just do like an animal. We just react. So what has taken years of Buddhist study and practice for me to do on a regular basis is that when I feel an emotion, it's not to push it away and say, this is a bad emotion, I shouldn't feel this emotion. Nor do I allow myself now to collapse into the emotion and get all sorts of energy from that explosiveness or whatever it is, whether it's anger or depression or over-the-moon happiness. I'm honestly assessing, what does this feel like? What does this look like? Is this serving a good purpose? Is this a reflection of circumstances of me? What am I attaching to? And not doing it in a way to say I should do these things, but just observe. Just initially observe. Something is coming up in this situation. I'm going to observe it. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to say I shouldn't feel this. I'm going to start by just observing. A big part of what Buddhism is not pushing things away, saying that they're bad. It's having the accountability to assess them in the moment, to be responsible. I take ownership of this emotion that's coming up in me in this situation. It is not something else or someone else's fault. This is within me. I am seeing this come up. I'm frustrated in this situation. I'm angry in the situation. I'm overjoyed in the situation. But I'm going to observe it without judgment. I'm going to see it. And then I'm going to do one of four things within my practice. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to come to peace with it, pacify it. To just kind of sit with it. Then I'm going to learn how to observe it and discern whether or not this is a benefit. And I'm going to grow from it. But if I don't do those things and I see that it's negative, I'm going to cut it out in the sense that I'm going to cut through the illusion of it. I feel angry. I'm angry at my mom. I'm angry at my dad. I'm angry at my friend. Why am I angry? Let's look at it. What is the source of the anger? And then I'm going to reach into my Buddhist bag of tricks, and I'm going to pull out the sword of karakiri, and I'm going to cut through that illusion. Right? I'm going to ruthlessly cut through that illusion. Sometimes it's the illusion of your own mind, where you're making up a situation that hasn't even happened yet. When I see this person, I'm going to say this, then they could say this, then I could say this, and then it could play out like this. If I go there to this place, it could play out like this. If it does that, then I'm going to do it. We start making all these plans, contingency plans, and all these things. But it's all just a figment of your imagination. That's the time we ruthlessly take the sword of illusion and cut through it. We just say, not real. It's a figment of my imagination. I'm just making things up to distract myself from reality here and now. I'm not being present now. So today in our Shoeizan, be present now. Things are going to come up in the practice while you're chanting, while you're sitting in meditation. Things are going to come up. Maybe things you don't like. Maybe your mind's going to go to a negative place. But realize that when your mind goes to the negative place, you don't have to stay there. Examine it, but don't attach to it. Let it go. A big portion of seated meditation is allowing your mind the space to let go of these discursive thoughts. The Buddha says, if you break the meditation down into 4 sections, meditation, 25% of it is observation. Observing the body, observing the things around you, observing the feelings. 25% of it is breathing. Right? 25% of it is compassionately practicing for the benefit of others. But what's interesting is the last 25%, believe it or not, what the Buddha says is learning how to be nice to yourself. Actually learning how to be kind to yourself. To not sitting there and dwelling on all of your negative qualities. Because you're not all anything. You're constantly changing, ever evolving being. You're not going to stay the same, no matter what. Even if you want to, not going to happen. So today, in your seated meditation, be nice to yourself. If a discursive thought comes up that you're mad at yourself, you don't like this about yourself, examine it. And ask yourself, why am I doing this? What does it serve? What function does it serve? Because most people, when they come up to you and they react in any situation, it's to serve a function. They may not realize what the function is, but it's serving a function. Even if that function is to obfuscate or hide what they're dealing with themselves, even if it's just to hide it from themselves. And because we have compassion and we've been in those same situations, we don't have to react defending our own ego that doesn't really exist, because now I can say, you know what, I've been there. And right now you might be acting in a way that this entity might even feel some hurt about. But you know what? I've been there. So I'm not going to hold you to always being that person that right now you're being. I know you're going to change. And I know I felt what you're feeling, or I could potentially feel what you're feeling now. So I'm not going to hold on to that. So in our seated meditation, observe time, follow your breathing, relax. You're not trying to achieve anything. You've already achieved it. The fact that you showed up is already, according to the Lotus Sutra, assured that you are going to attain enlightenment. You will. Okay, great. Now just enjoy. Just enjoy the practice. Enjoy that heaven and hell are in your mind. You know, everywhere around you can be wonderful or suck, depending on how you look at it. Because it's us that categorize things and make things different. That's dirty, that's clean. That's pure, that's defiled. But eventually you start to understand the paradox of even categorizing things like that. It's hard. When you chant today, though, what I really want you to think about is not you, it's not your practice, but the idea that if for some reason you might actually get some sort of benefit or merit from this practice, that you direct your heart and soul to push it out and give it to every sentient being out there. All thinking and feeling beings. Just give it away. Don't keep it for yourself. Give it away. Because guess what? You're a thinking and feeling being too. So therefore, you're getting it from everybody else, and you're giving it to everybody else. And while we're chanting, lose yourself. Lose yourself in the flow of the harmony together, chanting and just enjoying each other, and losing yourself in the harmony of the universe, the mill whole of the universe. I talked too much. Just place your hands in the gasho. Right high, reverent bow. Dojo Kan, receiving the dojo. Know this place in which we find ourselves now is a dojo, a place of Buddhist training. All Buddhas come to this place and attain perfect enlightenment. All Buddhas come to this place and turn the wheel of the Dharma. All Buddhas come to this place and enter into Nirvana. Onwan Sanki, the three treasures. It is difficult to be born as a human being. I have now realized the teaching of the Buddha is difficult to hear it. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Place your hands in full body, Joey, Cosmic One Libra, light. Right hand, left hand, thumbs slightly touching, tongue and root out, lower shoulders back. Sit nice and erect. Breathe with your hara, or your dantian, or your diaphragm. Yoshingyo. Silent meditation to center and calm the mind and body so that we may chant the old diagram. Shokyo. Standing the old eye open. Namu Place your hands in Kokai Join, Cosmic Realm Mudra. Shin Shingyo, silent meditation to feel the sublime Dharma of the old Daimoku, the preciousness. prayers today to all those members of the temple and their families who have passed, as well as all those who have managed to all of our leaders, all of our various countries, municipalities, cities, and towns, that they may work in an equitable way to be of benefit to all sentient beings. I respect you deeply. You will all be able to practice the way of bodhisattvas and become Buddhas. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may we and all other living beings attain the enlightenment of the Buddha. Amen. Do so. Farewell. Venerable ones, remember us. Be where you like and once again, please place your hands in Pai Joey. And as we begin with silent meditation. Very much. Join us for lunch afterwards. Those chairs. Thank you all very much for your efforts today. Chanting, we made it a little more vigorous today. Thank you, Kishin, for your drumming. It's okay, you know, like that's
It was in a weird spot when we came broke from the first round. I was like,
I thought you were
Come
just
back.
the mallet.
huh?
I thought you were just going to do the mallet.
No.
When you went to country style, I was like, okay, we'll do country style.
Yeah, no, it's, I don't know. What weirdly mindlessly did it or started doing that. Like,
Well,
all right, I guess we're doing this.
we adjusted. How's that? We adjusted.
Yeah.
Ultimate reality as it is.
Right.
I like to see the interaction because as a musician, there is no better way to tell your drummer that he's not in time than
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I was like, what? Wait, what? And then I was just like, you know, geez, so we figured it out. We found our way.